Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Movie Star Entrepreneur Show. I am your host Marshall Wayne, and today I want to talk about James Patterson specifically, but also Garth Brooks, and the fact that you may not know they're not necessarily a writer and a singer. They're advertisers who became a writer and a singer. For instance, let's start with James Patterson. If you know, you should know he's the biggest selling author of all time. So they say, here's an article that says why James Patterson is worth $150 million. It says he's not a writer, he's a fiction factory. So then it goes on to say, okay, he's worth an estimated $150 million. It says on his 33-year career he's written 57 books. I mean, that's like 1.6 books per year. Quick math. He sells an average of 20 million books per year. That's insane. During the last 2 years, he's earned his agency $500 million. It says he took home $60 million in the last year alone. So his book sales keep just going up and up because his old books are still selling. His new books sell. You know, they launch and then people buy his old books. So anyway, there's a cool part. It says, part author, part marketer, Patterson's built an empire by leaning on knowledge garnered as the former chairman of ad agency J. Walter Thompson. So I didn't know this until today. I was reading the book Make Ideas Happen because I'm in Jason Moffat's book club. And in this book it said how James Patterson is a prolific marketer, and I thought, well, of course he would be. He's a great author. He probably pays attention to marketing. And then they said, no, it's because he started out at J. Walter Thompson, which, Google it if you need to, but it's a monstrous ad agency. And he just worked his way up, became chairman, CEO, and obviously, to do that, he must be amazing at what he does. And then I'm not sure the story of how he developed his first book, but it was called Along Came a Spider, and you know, that was an Ashley Judd and I believe Morgan Freeman movie. I'll correct it down here if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. So it says he manically focuses on packaging. He famously redesigned the cover of the first Alex Cross book, Along Came a Spider, and continues to have a hand in the design of all of his own books, as well as placement of his books in stores. Harvard Business School taught a case study on his marketing. It says he has a very clear philosophy, and certainly a lot of people are copying him. It says he came out, as I did, of packaged goods marketing. So this guy who was quoting him saying that one of the things you learn is the power of packaging. So as we all know, we are internet marketers. I mean, we're entrepreneurs, but essentially we market our ideas for a living. We think ideas and then we figure out how to market them to people. The fact is, if there wasn't marketing, the world really wouldn't go around. You wouldn't be able to get a girlfriend because essentially you market yourself to this girl to get her. You wouldn't have friends because you essentially market yourself to friends to get them to be friends with you. I mean, that's the basic truth of life. That's just what it is. But also I want to tell you about Garth Brooks. I had heard this before. I don't have anything pulled up on the phone here, but I know this. I know he went to Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and he graduated with a degree in advertising. Now his mother had already been a singer and was signed to record labels, so she already knew the industry. And then he learned the advertising, so he knew what to do to market himself most effectively, what sort of songs would be the biggest hits. And so he just used his advertising knowledge to pick the right songs to sing and then market them effectively, and then he became bigger and bigger and bigger, and obviously now he's massive. I'm not sure where he is on the list of all-time recording artists. He has to be either #1 or #2 depending on where Michael Jackson is. He's way up there. Anyway, I know he's 1 or 2. I can't imagine anything or anybody being higher than him, except Michael Jackson, wherever that falls. So anyway, I just wanted to have you guys think about that. It's the advertising first and then being good at what you do. Obviously, if you really stink at what you do, it doesn't matter how much you get advertised. You might become notorious instead of famous. I mean, you're famous in a bad way instead of famous in a good way, like William Hung. he was advertised well, but he's still bad, and he's notorious rather than being actually celebrated, a celebrity. So anyway, that's it for today. See you guys.